JoJo's has a certain reputation for being fruity, but fruity doesn't necessarily equate to woke. My friend Lenny and I in 20 minutes are going to decide through decrypting the ancient texts of woke about which JoJo parts are and which aren't. No centrism allowed here, you're either one or the other on this ranking, but the placings can swap as we go on. This video is for fun and not meant to be taken seriously. It's a speedrun analysis using a very subjective and flexible term after all. Absolutely disagree in the comments. There are going to be points that we overlook. Part 1, Phantom Blood. Do we think it's woke?
Well, I think we got Dio. I wouldn't say it's too woke compared to the rest of the parts.
I actually am feeling out of this list. It might be, it's down there, I think. It's down there. Because honestly, it might be a little anti-woke because there's like the whole wealth disparity thing with the rich portrayed as uber good and the poor as like not good. And before anyone says Speedwagon, he somehow had the means of traveling the world somehow if you read the manga.
Also, let's not get into the fact that Speedwagon becomes like a whole oil baron.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, okay, put a pin in that. Also with Speedwagon, what kind of bothered me was how he said that Dio was just born bad. Which, you know, according to the laws of woke, isn't that woke, right? Because like, the whole nature versus nurture thing.
Nuh-uh, Speedwagon not so woke of you.
Is there any woke part about part 1?
I'm feeling like part 1's anti-woke.
With its whole wealth disparity thing, nurture versus nature, and then damsel in distress, right? I love how Jonathan, though, is just a gentleman.
That is true. He's not like Joseph.
It seems that Speedwagon's the problematic one here, actually. Okay, taking a quick detour in order to announce the first globally released JoJo RPG mobile game, Golden Spirit, is now out. It's been a while since a mobile game has intrigued me so much, but with its strategic battle system, including my favorite characters, character progression planning, various game modes, and faithfully recreated scenes from the anime with such beautifully made assets, it's genuinely a game that I'm excited to play. I mean, just look at Diablo's sprite here. Ugh, it's so beautiful. And what do you mean I can play as Formaggio? Exciting! Even though I'm not the best at video games, I certainly do try, and one aspect I always find satisfying is strengthening my characters through development, upgrading skills, and enhancing equipment. There's also a social feature built into the game with guilds, a friend system, co-op challenges, and multiplayer interactions, which makes this an experience I can enjoy with other people. It's also always super fun to see how different media adapts Araki's signature posing, interactions, and moments, so I'm excited to explore how Golden Spirit does it here. Golden Spirit has a lot to offer from its cinematic battle presentation to its special character story events, one of which centering on Jotaro Kujo right now. Don't hesitate, there's special launch events and exclusive rewards available alongside the SSR Jotaro Kujo summon that you won't want to miss out on. Join the adventure now. Download JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Spirit on iOS and Android, build your ultimate team, enjoy diverse game modes, and unlock exclusive launch rewards. Part 2, Battle Tendency. Ooh, this one ooh.
Yeah, I have a few things to say about Battle Tendency. Oh my god.
Namely, as you said, Speedwagon being an oil baron. Yes, he founds like the Speedwagon Foundation, which does use its wealth for good. But if we look at real world parallels, then it gets a little bit complicated.
I will give them bonus points though for Lisa. She could have showed her strength better. I feel like in the fight against Car, she was pretty much a little useless.
However, if we're looking at it through like a more modern context, it's not really woke. It should be kind of expected that a woman would play like a larger part, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And also, the only fight that she does is against Wired Beck, and that's just like a minor level zombie. She also isn't the main teacher of Joseph and Caesar. That goes to Loggins and Messina during the part.
You know what? You are right. Not looking too good in the, the women characters department. However, onto another point. They did address some police brutality with Smokey.
Wait, you're right. But then again,
that was pretty welcome, Joseph.
Joseph later follows that up a little with some misogyny as he threatens a woman that he'd shut her up with a kiss.
Good old Joseph.
Does misogyny cancel out anti-racism?
I feel like it does cancel out. Uh-oh. Also, at the very end, them teaming up with not very woke of them.
It really isn't.
I'm feeling Battle Tendencies not very woke.
Uh-oh. Joseph, my problematic king. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Is part 1 or part 2 woker?
I feel like part 2 is woker than part 1. The fact that we actually get some criticism of police brutality, I feel like that gives it some woke points.
However,
These are bad. That does remove some points from them.
Caesar's friends with one.
That's true. Caesar is friends with one.
Is part 1 or part 2? Because I feel like part 1 is just kind of passively a story of its time. It has like some negative talks about nature versus nurture. But I think part 2, like, actively, with its, like, theism, its less gentlemanly protagonist, Lisa's failure to live up to the bare minimum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think part 2 is less woke than part 1. But
wow,
for the audience, I still love part 2. Except that I don't like those. Don't get me twisted. But, okay, what do you think? Do you agree or disagree with me?
Now that you say it, yeah, put that shit at the bottom.
Bye! Part 3, Stardust Crusaders.
I get mixed signals from part 3 because we do get like Avdol as being like such a major character, but then like he's also the first one to die twice.
Yeah, oh my god. And also, they're doing the Disney thing where their main villain is like a zesty character. Here's my thing. Gay doesn't necessarily mean woke, right?
That
you could
is
be
true.
a very problematic queer.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of very problematic queers in JoJo.
Maybe something that is woke is Enya being like a mentor figure for Dio. A very strong female
That is
presence.
true.
She bests whole horse. She does a great number on Polnareff.
Yeah, I feel like she's such an interesting character. And I also feel like part 3 is the first part in JoJo where we do get more compelling female characters.
Yeah, I actually really liked Anne. I'm so sad that she was dropped.
Yeah, I feel like Anne just felt like a little bit of a side quest, but I do also feel like Araki was starting to experiment with the personalities of his female characters in part 3.
Is there any other point that we're missing? Oh,
we talked about
Holly!
Vanilla Ice.
Holly! Oh my god! Holly being the damsel in distress that the whole part
Yes.
centers around. Yeah, that... Ooh.
A baby can have a stand.
Holly, oh my god. Is there anything woke about part 3 we could think of?
I would say just the inclusion of like strong women would be the woke part of it. Yeah,
Like Midler.
they have female villains that are actually pretty strong, like
And Mariah. Ooh, I love Mariah.
Mhm.
Yes, she's
Me
like to be
too.
ogled at, but she's kind of using that as her strength. But does woke like temptresses?
Ooh.
Is Mariah anti-woke actually? She's a strong female character, but what does Big Woke think?
I think Big Woke is not too fond of Mariah's.
Ooh,
Temptress
I'm
character.
sorry, Mariah. Big Woke has decreed it. Part 3 is anti-woke. Less or more woke than part 1?
I feel like it's the start of the slight climb up to being woke.
Okay, I think I would agree. You know, the pieces are starting to be laid, and I also do believe that Holy has more of a character at least than Poco's sister. Does Poco's sister even have a name?
No.
Am I fake for that? Let me Google this.
I think I remember her having a name.
Oh my god, she doesn't have a name. Unnamed tertiary ally. The anime added it in. The more you know. I didn't know this until right now. I think that says a lot about part 1. I think we have our
Damsel in
answer.
Distress doesn't even have a name.
Wow. Part 3 about part 1 then for sure, I think, right?
Yeah.
Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. Is it woke?
I think part 4 is the start of woke.
You know, I think I would agree because Josuke's whole thing is restoring things. And that translates to restorative justice. See? No longer are we saying that Dio is bad to his core. Instead, we're, as the part goes on, face villains that end up redeeming themselves. And there's only really 2 characters killed by Josuke. One of which, woke doesn't think that people should be killed for their crimes. However, if anyone deserved to be turned into a rocket for eternity, I think Angelo might fit the bill. And also, Teranosuke
Definitely.
was personal motivated murder. So I feel like that's different from any other murder commentary. And Akira's thrown in prison. Akira's thrown in prison. He's not killed for his crimes.
Oh my god, yeah. I also feel like the designs in part 4 definitely start becoming a lot more expressive. Like they start looking fruity.
Does woke think that appearance factors in though? Yeah, it would, right? Like appearance does matter.
Yeah, like self-expression.
Yeah. You're right. What do we think about all cops are bad? Josuke's grandfather, Ryohei, is a cop.
He is portrayed as good.
Does woke think...
I don't think Big Woke likes that.
I don't think Big Woke doesn't like that. Okay.
You know, I think Big Woke approves of part 4.
To be woke, do you have to be like passively woke or do you have to be like proactively woke? So where would we put part 4? Is it little woke or woke?
I feel like it's a little woke. Yeah, we got whatever the fuck is going on with Rohan.
Right, because Rohan wears a dress at one point.
That's kind of woke.
And we got, you know, alien representation. Sorry, that was so dumb.
The actual interesting female characters with actual personality like Yukako and Reimi. Oh, and Aya too.
I would say part 4 is a little woke.
I agree.
Is part 4 more woke than part 3?
Yes.
I don't think we don't even need to say anything. Part 5, Golden Wind. Is it woke?
Well, we got our first gay couple, but they get killed before the narrative even starts.
We also have Squalo and Tiziano. I know that in an interview, Araki did say that he just saw them as really close, but Araki lies all the time. I don't believe him.
I don't go around with my homie like caressing his chest lovingly.
Also, if we are counting physical appearance as something that Big Woke would consider, part 5 definitely kicks it up a notch because all the men are feminine in some way.
I will say, not a huge fan of what Araki thought that dissociative identity disorder.
Okay, wait, here's my thing. I don't think that Diavolo is DID. I think Polnareff didn't know what he was talking about.
Can't argue with that because I don't think he's DID either.
Yeah, I genuinely think that Diavolo is some kind of demonic presence, some kind of demonic entity. How exactly we explore and talk about that, that's a whole different story. But I think Polnareff is wrong. So is it still problematic if a character is being problematic about it?
I think that it could send a message to readers that DID is some sort of demonic thing.
That is true. Oh, here's another part about part 5 that kind of differs from parts 1 through 3. A bunch of the characters come from places of poor wealth and become figures of justice.
And Abakio did start out as a corrupt cop.
Yes!
Which is a commentary on police corruption. I feel like Big Woke enjoys the fact that the police are portrayed in a negative light.
Is part 5 woke? I think it's a little woke.
I think it's also a little woke.
Is part 5 more woke than part 4 then?
Yes. I feel like if part 4 was the start of the free expression of gender, part 5 really pushes that expression.
Okay. In any other sense, though, because part 4 did have strong themes of restorative justice. However, part 5 had strong themes of coming from poverty and rising to the top. However, is that woke?
I feel like woke says that part 5 is more woke.
Okay, you know, I'll go with it. I think it's a toss-up. I need to see what the comments say, honestly. Part 6, Stone Ocean. Is Stone Ocean woke?
I feel like with part 4 was the beginning of female characters with strong personalities. Part 6, Araki gets that and takes it to the next level. You know, we got Jolene, obviously.
And a lot of the villains are now, like, very strong female villains as well. It's not like Mariah, where she's seen as an object of desire for a man. Instead, we have people like Marilyn Manson, who is just a female villain. Or the Warden, Mew Mew.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Jolene fights the brutes, like Viviana Westwood in the high security prison, she's seen as being able to be on par with them. And not in a way where she's like a Mary Sue and absolutely killing him. No, she takes her punches. She is fighting it. What do we think about Dio's sons all being impoverished again?
I think that's interesting. I actually never thought about that before.
Because Jolene, she does benefit from the Speedwagon Foundation a little bit throughout the part, but I don't think it has much commentary on, like, wealth itself. But what does that say about Dio's sons all coming from, like, impoverished, lower down spaces? What does woke say about that?
I feel like it would be a little different than, like, with Dio, because I feel like when it comes to Dio's sons, a lot of it could also play into nature versus nurture. I think that it's neutral.
Okay, so I think it's woke, right? Like, I don't think it has, like, too much broader societal commentary, right? Like, I don't think Pucci's whole fate thing has much to say about woke, right?
I definitely feel like part 6 broke a lot of boundaries, especially for the time that it was written.
All that together, I would say it's woke.
Yeah.
Steel Ball Run. Is it woke?
Oh, I have a lot to say about Steel Ball Run.
Okay, go forward.
As a lesbian myself, I feel like we could have had so much potential with Scarlet Valentine. but she ended up being the biggest setback for the queers in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Ooh, there is not a character that I hate more than Scarlet Valentine. I hate her more than Funny Valentine. That is how much I hate that woman. Not very woke. I will say though, I do feel like the overarching plot of Steel Ball Run has some really interesting topics.
We open the story with Sandman, an indigenous perspective, and then we follow that through with him being like, I am explicitly taking the money from the white man. We open the story with an anti-America context.
We also get the perspective of Poco Loco as someone who descended from enslaved people.
And he wins!
He wins! Obviously, the main villain is Funny Valentine. He is the president of the United States. He has a scar on his back in the shape of the American flag. He is the symbol of US imperialism.
Valentine reflects like a lot of American presidents with their charm, their interest in little girls. I feel like, I think him being the main villain is supremely woke. And then the final thing I think we should really talk about, right? Unless something else pops up. Lucy.
My goat!
What matters is that Lucy is the one to end the story. Johnny doesn't end the story. Gyro doesn't end the story. Lucy ends the story. Everything would have been Diego's if it weren't for her stopping him. And a lot of the story revolves around her. I think Part 7 is supremely woke. Overall, when we talk about like American themes, about the evolution of how women are portrayed, I think it's the wokest part so far. Part 8, JoJolian. Is it woke? What do you think about Yasuho's victimization throughout the part?
I feel like some of it was unnecessary. I'm sorry. And I feel like it could be a bit of shock value from Araki's part.
Here's the counterpoint. On its face, it's so over the top and excessive. But Yasuho going through all of that, the misogyny women face. She's been a desire for men's fulfillment all her life at the hands of Toru, Joshu, and Tsurugi. It's broader commentary.
I still feel like it's a little excessive, but I do understand your point.
I will say though, as strong as a defense as that is for Yasuho, people like Kato being sexualized and tormented, people like Hato being licked by Joshu.
I don't think Woke likes that very much.
Another thing that Part 8 does a lot with its political commentary on wrongs of the medical industry. That's what the kind of second half focuses on entirely. Like the concept of the Rokakaka being used only for like the rich and how like corrupt a lot of the doctors are, like Wu Tomoki. I think there is something to say there.
I think Woke is against medical malpractice.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. What is woke about Part 8?
Yasuho being a character outside of just a love interest.
I don't know if she's necessarily woke on its face. Because at the end of the day, a woman existing isn't necessarily woke, right? Like that should just be the bar. That should just be expected.
But I feel like when it comes to love interests, especially for male main characters, they tend to follow the stereotype of that one female character who has no substance other than just being a love interest. She still maintains her own personality and her own desires as a character.
Then again, it should be expected, right? Is it woke? If it's expected at the bare minimum. So I think I'm actually neutral on Yasuho.
Yeah.
Like Lucy's like proactively the hero, but but Yasuho does kind of save the day, right? Because it would be impossible to have defeated Wonder of You without her. I think it's only like a little woke.
Yeah.
Is Part 8 more woke than Part 7?
No.
But as we go down, what is it? Is Part 8 more woke than Part 6?
I also think it's not.
Is Part 8 more woke than Part 5?
No.
I wouldn't. Is Part 8 or Part 4 more woke?
I feel like since Part 4 and 5, we put them around the same level, I would say that Part 8 would be placed above Part 3, but below Part 4.
Okay. Part 9, JoJo Lands. Lenny, is it woke?
Oh my god. Is JoJo Lands woke?
We got a neurodivergent minor protagonist, trans woman Jobro, first-gen Venezuelan immigrant, bisexual boy, indigenous victim of systemic oppression. The main source of conflict, currently, Howler, is an incompetent billionaire. Is it woke?
I think this will count for the wokest part.
I don't think it's a competition. I don't think we need to say anything else about Part 9.
Mind you, this is just the beginning.
Is Part 9 more woke than Part 7?
Is this even a question?
It's not a question. If you guys read Part 9, you already knew the answer before you started the video. The most woke part is Part 9. The least woke part is Part 2. If you disagree with either of us, please tell us why in the comments. We had to keep this short for YouTube. There is certainly more to say.
But thank you for watching.
If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I have 2 new JoJo Lands charms up on my shop, and I'm working on bonus blooper videos that Ko-Fi and YouTube members can access through a special Discord role if properly linked. It will also show work in progresses for future video and animatic stuff. Follow me on Insta, and thank you.